one of the things I don't want people to do is miss this amazing opportunity of where we at right now. Right? So we're in an amazing space, we're in an amazing opportunity, man. And I want everybody to be able to take full advantage of this, right? And so a lot of people feel like, yo, Trap, man, I don't really know how to get in the market. I don't really know like where to start at. I don't know how to pick my first stock. Like, and I get it, right? Because you hear a lot of stuff. You hear a lot of confusion. You hear a lot of people talking about buy this, buy that. You hear stuff on the TV talking about GameStop this, AMC that. So a lot of people have been doing that and you don't really know where to go at. And that's understandable because a lot of times the people who are giving you the information are novices themselves, right? And so I'm going to just be real with you. While I do appreciate people saying get into the market, right? But what I don't appreciate is, people who don't know about investing telling other people who don't know about investing what to do, right? And at this point, you leading somebody else to the wrong. And I'm going to be real with y'all. One of the things I often say is nobody really cares about your money like you. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody really understands and nobody really has love for your money like you. Right. And so what I want to do is I want to put us in a situation today. Right. Because I know they have a lot of people that's just in. So one of the things I want to do today is I want to put people in a situation right now. Right. Today, I want to give you some actionable steps that you can take right now to start investing and you can see great returns on your money. Right now, one of the things in order to be just a great investor, like if you really want to be like a certified Wall Street trapper, it's more so about us doing the research. And that's something we talk about a lot in Trappers Anonymous, right? We hold classes just focusing on research and all that. But if you're not really there for that yet, if you're not really like, yo, Trap, like, I don't even know how to research no stock, bro. Like, I want to get in that trap, but I don't really know what to do. So lately, I've been talking to people about how to turn your last name into an asset. And that's cool, right? And I always give people actionable stuff that they can get off this live with and put into play right there. I want to say this right here. Before I even do anything, I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I fiduciary, right? So everything that I say is for entertainment purposes only, right? Do with this information as you wish. The one thing I want you to do is before you seek out any of this, I want you to lay up there and seek out financial advice, right? I know one by the name of Rashad Bilal, who is one part of the Earning Leisure family. He can take you to glory. I can only take you to the trap house. You feel me? So what I want to talk to you all about today is ETFs, right? I want to talk to you all today about ETFs, right? And ETFs are great to use, right? How many people in here right now know what ETFs is? Right? So ETFs are great, right? ETFs are great tools and great instruments for any investor to use, right? So if you're in Trappers Anonymous, I give you like 3. So every week we do something in Trappers Anonymous called ETF Thursdays, right? And it's why I take one ETF and I break that ETF all the way down, right? And so we understand every component of that ETF. Right. And so now you can take that ETF, and what the ETF does is it eliminates some of the risk that you have when it comes to investing. So some of people might be asking like, Trap, what is an ETF? So an ETF is an exchange traded fund, right? So it's like a mutual fund without all the expenses, but it's also more market directed, right? And so what I mean by like market directed or sector allocated, right? So when we think about sector allocation, when we think about sectors, let's think about what a sector is. Right? It's K. So a sector is the stock market has 11 sectors, right? 11 sectors the stock market has, right? And every stock has to fall into one of those sectors, right? So let's start there, right? The stock market has 11 sectors, right? It has 11 sectors, right? And every stock has to fall within one of those sectors, right? And inside of that sector is what's called industries. So every sector has an industry. So let's break that down a little bit, right? And I want y'all to just bear with me, right? Because I want everybody to get it. Like I'm really about to give y'all some game so you can make your money work for you like right now, right? This is without all the research. I'm gonna give you the game, and I'm gonna give you 3 or 4 steps that you can take right now to look at this and say, you know what? Let me put my money right here just to, just get my money going. Because the objective of the game is just to get some skin in the game, right? The objective of this game is to say, let me, make this work. Let me get my money in until I'm able to learn, right? So one of the things I want us to understand is every sector has an industry. So if we look at the financial sector, there's an industry, there are industries within the financial sector. So some of those industries may be payment plan people. So you may have your Visa and your Visa and your MasterCard. And then you may have an insurance companies, right? Geico, Progressive, like that. And then you have banking, right? Then you'll have like in banking, you'll have like, to break that down to investment banking. So you have regional banking and then investment banking, right? So we got to understand that inside of every sector, there's industries. So we got to understand that, right? So we understand that and we put that. So one of the dope things about ETFs is what you're able to do now is you're able to say, you know what? I'm not ready to research stocks yet, but I like this industry. That's how we break things down. So when you get an ETF, you can actually buy the entire sector, right? You're saying, yo, look, like I like, and let's think about it from this play. So let's think about it like this. Let me give you an idea of it from a real life actual step, right? So let's say you walked into the grocery store, right? You walk into the grocery store and you say, you know what? I want to buy some chips, right? So the chip aisle itself is a sector. Right? That's a sector, right? But inside the chip aisle, what do you have? You have pretzels, you have popcorn, you have, those are different industries. You feel what I'm saying? So if you say, yo, I want to buy some, I want some chips right now, right? And you like, yo, what kind of chips, what kind of chips do I want? You like, I don't know, let me go see, right? So you go into the chip aisle, this is the chip sector, right? This is the potato chip sector. But inside of that potato chip sector, you may have popcorn, you may have crackers, you may have pretzels, you may have vegan chips, you may have salted chips, right? You have different types of chips inside of that. So those are the different industries, right? But so what an ETF does is, so let's say you go and you like, man, I don't know which one I want. You don't know which one I want. So what the ETF allows you to do is say, you know what? An ETF allows you to say, you know what? I'm going to just buy the whole chip aisle. Right? I'm going to just buy the whole potato chip aisle. Right? You may have wrap snacks for sure. You heard me? So you go in there and you say, you know what? Right? You go in and say, you know what? I'm going to just buy the whole potato chip aisle. Give me all the chips, yo. I want all of them. I want the wrap snacks. I want the pretzels. I want the Pringles. I want the popcorn. I want the crackers. I want everything in the potato chip aisle. I want the whole aisle. At that point, you've bought an ETF. I'm making sense? At that point now, you've purchased the ETF. Now, here's the dope part about the ETFs. Unlike mutual funds, ETFs cost way cheaper. So let's say if an ETF pays something like 0.7%, right? So one of the most important things, I want you to write this down, right? One of the most important things we need to look for when we're looking at an ETF is called the expense ratio. So the expense ratio tells us how much we are paying them to manage the ETF. The thing about an ETF is you're paying somebody to manage that fund for you. You feel me? With the ETF, you're paying someone to manage that fund for you. You feel me? You're paying someone to manage that fund for you. Check this number out, right? So if an ETF has 0.70%, you're now paying them $70 for every $1,000 you have invested. So that expense ratio is extremely important, right? Because you don't want to get an expense ratio over 1. But I'm going to talk about some situations where you have higher expense ratios, right? Another thing that you want to understand is what is the dividend yield and what is the returns on this ETF? What is the dividend yield and what is the returns on that ETF? And the next thing you want to understand is what is the ETF holding, right? Like what all companies are in the ETF. Right? You start with whatever you want to start with. Whatever the ETF costs. If it costs $50, you start with $50. Like, I think one of the things that hinders people so much is they be like, yo, Trap, how much do I start with? How much do you have? You feel me? Trap, how much do I need to make some money? You can make money with $1. If the ETF costs $10, you buy the ETF, you can start making money right there. So you can make money immediately. And that's what I wanted to do with this live. With this live, I'm like, you know what? Let me give people some free game and some safe ways to start putting their money in the market, right? If you haven't done anything else, right? So one of the things I want you all to do is a great way to start is starting with ETF, right? You start with ETFs. Right, you can start there, right? That's a great way for us to get in the game. And so just let me give you an idea of some of the returns that you can have on ETFs. So one of the things I've done in Trappers Anonymous, I gave them a couple ETFs. So every Thursday, again, like I say, every Thursday we do what's called a ETF Thursday. And ETF Thursday, I literally get in there. This is the ETF. I break down the performance, the fund ratio, the dividend yield, how long it's been in app, how long it's been, what has returned on 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, what is the dividend, what does it rank, right? I give a great breakdown in that because I know a lot of people in Trappers Anonymous has just started, and it's always a great place to go. Let me just give you an example, because one of the things that hinders people is they think you can only make great returns with individual stocks, and that's far from the truth, right? That's far from the truth, yo. So let me give you something. So I gave the Trappers this ETF, maybe last year. I gave them ETF TAN, ticker symbol TAN. What that is, it's a solar energy ETF. From the time I gave it to them to now, that ETF has returned 254%. There are a lot of stocks that can't return 250. There are so many stocks that can't return 254% in 1 year. And in Trappers Anonymous, we got in TAN last year. Well, I picked the stock out of there, but I gave them TAN last year because I got into a couple solar stocks that have been amazing. TAN has returned 254%. 254%, and that's an ETF, y'all. Right? That's an ETF. Right? Another one that I gave them was SMH. That was last year. Year to date, that has returned 108%. Right? These are ticker symbols. I mean, these are ETFs. Right? I've talked about this hedge fund VIP list for maybe a year and something. I done posted about it like 3 times because Goldman Sachs always make a list of the 50 and 10 most heavily weighted invested in companies by hedge funds. And yep, that's what I got in, fam. Run. Yeah. And I posted this on my live on my page today. Ticker symbol GVIP. That's the Goldman Sachs VIP fund. That has returned 100% in a year. Right? So I'm telling you, between TAN, 254%, SMH, 108%, GVIP, 100%. Let's say you want to get into cloud computing, because we know that's like the wave. That's what's going on, right? Right? That's the wave what's going on. We talking about 84%. Right? 84%. Everybody's on social media all the time, right? You can get a social media ETF, SOCL. It has returned 353% in 1 year. SOCL. It has returned 353% in 1 year. Right? And so the thing about ETFs is there's an ETF for every industry, every sector. There's an ETF for it. And so those are some of the great ways that you can get into the game early on, right? And so the thing about it is, even the one CLOU, which is cloud computing, it has outperformed the S&P by 45 to 50% over the last 2 to 3 years. You feel what I'm saying? Over the last 2 to 3 years. One of the things I will tell you is that past performance doesn't equate to future performance. We can do is, and I think the modern day investor, right? And so when I say the modern day investor, like, you know, we're in a new phase right now. We're in a new stage right now, right? Where Wall Street doesn't look the same anymore, right? Because Wall Street looks like us now, right? I want everybody in here to say that, like, Wall Street looks like us now. Right? I want everybody in here to say that, like, Wall Street looks like us now. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody in here to say that. Like, I want you to say that. I want you to feel that. Right? I want you to say that and I want you to feel that. You know what I'm saying? Because what happens is we've changed the dynamics of how Wall Street looks. Right? We changed that dynamic. Right? It's no more, and there's nothing against anybody, but it's no more all white men. It's no more having to be in suits and ties. It's no more having to go there, right? It's no more of that. So I want everybody in here, if it's your first time investing, if you like, you know what, I'm about to get into this game, because this has been a tool that has created generational wealth for so many families for so many years, and it's not going anywhere no time soon. So I want us to be able to say, yo, Wall Street looks like us now. And that's whether you black, that's whether you white, that's whether you Chinese, that's whether you Asian, that's whether you in stocks, that's whether you in ETFs, that's whether you in index funds, that's whether you options trading, that's whether you Forex trading, that's whether you crypto trading, binary options, whatever you doing, you on Wall Street. And so Wall Street looks like us now. And I need us to understand that. We are the leverage now, right? And I want us to like comprehend that. And so how do we leverage the game? We leverage the game by getting around and creating environments of people who all think and understand the game. And that's what I did with Trappers Anonymous. That's the goal. Trappers Anonymous is all about saying, yo, we all on the same accord. We all come from different places, different hues. We all come from different backgrounds, but we all have the same agenda. We all up against Wall Street. So Wall Street looks like us now. You feel me? And so one of the things I want us to do is we can start with these ETFs, right? And so here's the thing, so the ETF market now gives us so much leverage because now they're creating ETFs to perform just like institutions. Trap, what do you mean? Okay, so there's really ETFs. They're called inverse ETFs. So if you don't know I'm talking about it. So if you don't know let's say you don't know how to short the market. Let's say you don't know how to do puts, right? Well, you can get an inverse ETF. And so when the market goes down, you'll make money. Now, those are dangerous because you're only supposed to hold on to them for a short amount of time. But as the market goes down, you're making money. You're making money. And then it gets a little more deeper because now you can get what's called 2-time and 3-time leveraged inverse ETFs. So now when the market goes down, for every $1 you would have made, if it's a 2-time leveraged ETF, you'll make $2. Or you can get a 3-time leveraged ETF. For every time the market goes down, instead of making $1, you'll make $3. So these are called leveraged inverse ETFs, right? Levered inverse ETFs. And then you can go another way, right, and just get leveraged ETFs. And so now every time the market goes up and you make $1, you'll make $2. Or you can get 3-time leveraged ETFs. Every time the market goes up, instead of you making $1, you'll make $3. So it's a 2-time and a 3-time leveraged ETF. So you can make money a lot of ways in the market, but I don't want to go there with you, right? I don't want to go there with you right now. How do I feel about ARK ETF? I think it's a great ETF, but I'm just not about to just go crazy and jump on that bandwagon. Like, you know what I'm saying? Kathy Woods is phenomenal. She's great. But I think there's a lot of places you can go out there, right? Because if you in ARK right now, if you've been in ARK for the last 2 months, you're taking a beating, right? And so because it's a volatile game that she's playing, and it's cool, but you just got to have what it take to play the game. Like, I don't care how, like, even if let's say you love Tom Brady, right? You got to be able to say when he was down 28-3 in the Falcons, you still got to be able to say, yo, I love Tom Brady. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be willing to say, damn, like, they whooping his butt right now. And you got to believe in him enough to say, you know what I'm saying? I'm still rocking with him regardless. So I'm not saying, like, Kathy Woods is amazing. She's phenomenal. Right? She's phenomenal. And in the long term, she'll keep being phenomenal. Right? But what happens is a lot of people jumped on that ARK train, not realizing that ARK is heavy in Tesla. So why is ARK taking the beating? Why is ARKK taking the beating? Because Tesla is taking the beating. Right? So you just got to be able to withstand that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm all about that. Right?